All right, everyone, welcome to module number 31, creating ad reports. I've referenced this section multiple times so far, and by now you're probably wanting a glimpse at it. Well, what I want to do is I want to show you exactly how I set up my reports. Now, you can find your own system that works for you, but until then, you can at least borrow mine. Okay, with that being said, let's look at Facebook ad reporting. All right, so here we are in the Facebook ads reporting section, and this is actually one of my favorite sections because for the longest time I was over here in campaigns and managing my campaigns there. But if you actually click on reports, this will be empty at first until you actually create some reports. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is basically using this filter here, either your campaign name or your ad name or whatever contains a certain word. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to have to do when you're to be able to use this section is all of your ads or all of your campaigns need to have a certain naming convention. Now in this case, I made sure that they all use the word candlestick, which was Candlestick Park, which was targeting a t-shirt hoodie design that I did for Farewell Candlestick Park. So in this case, I did all these ads and I scaled them out. You probably watched the scaling out module by now. And I scaled all these different ads out, and every single one of them had the word candlestick in it. Okay, they probably all said Farewell Candlestick, but it doesn't matter. As long as they all had the word candlestick in it, then I can do this search here and they'll all come up. And then you want to make sure you do them for a certain date range, whatever, that you're running these for. But so here you are, candlestick. And then the second thing, so now that I've added this filter here, candlestick, okay, all these ads show up. They're only candlestick ads, as you can see. The next thing is you're going to want to determine what information over here that you want to know about that. Okay, those right here are columns. So when you go over here to the columns, it's going to start you with a bunch of junk. When it first starts you with a lot of stuff, usually what I do is I go in here and basically erase it all. This is the basics that I like, okay? So if it had a bunch of stuff here, I would just click select all and then select all again, and I'd clear it all out. Okay, I clear everything out. So there's say 1, 2, 2. I clear everything out and just get what I want. In this case, I probably am going to want the campaign and the ad. That tells me the campaign name and the ad name. And then I don't need any data breakdowns, but you might want to know something there. Delivery and spend. This is the main thing I always want to know is just what I'm spending. Sometimes I'll want to know reach maybe, but usually I keep it simple. I like very simple metrics to really be able to look at a glance because I can always add more if I want. So go here, make sure I have spend. For clicks here, I really don't care about clicks, and the reason is because I care about website clicks. Now, website clicks are not here. You'll notice website clicks are over here in actions. I'll scroll down, and here they are, website clicks. Now, depending on what you're doing, if it's an offer ad, you're probably also going to want offer claims. If it's a website conversion ad, you're probably going to want checkouts. You're going to want to know how many checkouts that you've had. So there's different things you might want to do. Now, in this case, I use checkouts. Although if you've already watched the other module where I talk about this, you'll see that this is actually quite ineffective. I'll kind of briefly touch on that now just in case you're watching these out of order. But anyways, I'll go through here. The main thing I'm going to want is website clicks. For revenue here, I don't really need this unless you specifically might need something here. You could throw it in. Cost per action, I'm really going to want to know this cost per website click, okay? Or cost per checkout. Or cost per offer claim, or whatever it is that you're doing. Those are the main things that you're going to want to know. Okay, if you're placing ads to build up fans for your fan pages, you're going to want to know cost per page like. That's something you're going to want to know. So you check all the stuff you want, and then you click save. Okay, so now you have all these columns that you want, so they show up over here, and you can drag and drop these and rearrange them. Okay. So let's say I want to get rid of some. Let's say these conversion things. So I'll touch on this real quick before removing these. Checkouts and cost per checkout. I found that these were not accurate numbers. I found that Facebook's tracking pixel just was not tracking accurately. So I actually used a different method for tracking. And I don't mind having this here. The downside with it is it could throw you off big time, okay? For example, this cost per website click was 11 cents per website click, but over here it shows that I'm paying $12 per checkout, but more or less I was probably paying around $3 or $4 or $5 per checkout, but this number might throw me off. I might go, well, hey, I'm spending, or this number right here, $21, I'm spending $21 per checkout. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this ad, because if I'm only making 20 and I'm spending 21, then I'm losing money. Well, if this data is not accurate, then you might pause an ad that's doing great, 17 cents per website click. Maybe this ad was actually doing great and this data was just off. Now, the reason I know this was off because of all these checkouts, when I totaled up all these checkouts,
For this campaign, I had sold 1,300 shirts. And look, when you look at these, there's no way all those numbers add up to 1,300, right? So I started realizing like, oh crap, I'm way off on this. So I stopped using cost per checkout, and I went down here to cost per website click, and then I started tracking ROI. I focused on how much I was spending and how much I was making on ROI, and I started using other factors. Like in this case, I was selling a Teespring t-shirt. I started using Teespring's analytics. So that's my summary real quick of why these aren't as effective as I would hope that they are. I wish these worked better. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those out of here. So the way I would do that is I would go here to Actions, and I would scroll down and find Checkouts and uncheck that. And I'd go down here to Cost per Action and uncheck that, and then Save. And right now it's, there it is, it's saved. And then I have to go up here and make sure, see how it says Edited? I have to go here and press Save in order to have this actually saved. It says there's already an existing report. Of course there is. It's this one I'm working on. Update the report. So now this is an updated report, and it's saved here in the report section. So I can grab this anytime I want, go right down there, and I can grab that. So I have my reports here. I have any reports that I want to create for anything that I want to create. Now I'm in my personal account, not my corporate account. So there's not many reports here, but there's a few of them. And you want to just, if you start having different, every shirt that you run, every affiliate product you promote should end up having its own report. And then you could always delete it later. You can remove reports later. Okay. Now, the reason I like this is because you can export the data really easily. So let's say that I want to figure out my spend, the total amount you spent so far. There's no real easy math here. I can't really eyeball this. I don't really want to count it up. So you just go to Export, and you can export it here to a CSV file. Okay, so what it does is it ends up saving that to your computer, and then you can total that in Excel very, very easily. You can total that. It's very easy to total. You can get basically your get your totals in just a second. Just open up your conversion report, and you're good to go. Okay, so that right there is I don't need to go into an Excel demo for you, but having that data, you just sum up all those totals, and it tells you your total ad spend. So that's how you can determine your ROI at a glance. That's why Facebook ads reporting is so important. So a couple things I'm going to say just to make sure you do. Make sure that you have the naming convention down. Put the same word in all of your ads. So if I was to look at another one, let's say I mentioned this one in another one of the things, GGG Niners, right? And we got to go back to the range that it was. I can't recall the range offhand. This is back in, let's say, I think it was January. Let's do the month of January. Hold on one second. Let's do January 31st. Okay. So sorry about that. It was edited. Let's just save that. Save. Okay. So here in this case, same kind of thing. You can see. Sorry, it's every single time I'm doing that, I've got to save it there. Okay, and the reason it's asking me to save it is because next time I load this up, it'll load up this way. Okay, it'll load up. So you can actually load it up. What's most important for you? The spend, cost per click, whatever it is. So this right here, and then I just simply go to export that as a CSV file. Okay, so then I go over here, and it's in another window there. It's give me the option if I want to export it or not. So you export this, and then you can total up your totals. Okay, now the reason this is important is because when you actually total things up, you're going to be able to know, okay, how much have I made in total versus how much am I spending? Once you notice your profit margins over your expenses, you can figure out what your ROI is. So make sure that they all use the same kind of naming convention. Make sure that you've got the right date range for when your stuff is. If you notice, when I loaded this up right now the first time, it put me in today's date instead of this previous dates that it was. So it's important to just make sure you have this basics down. So what I'd recommend is get in here and just get familiar with it. Get in here, place whatever your campaigns are, use the naming convention, use a filter to search for them, and then name it something. Save it as something and name it something. And then you can edit columns and start working and get things just the way that you like them. Okay, ad reporting is where you want to go at a glance. You want to be able to jump in here real quick, and you want to make sure you update it to the current day, from whatever the day it started was to the current day. I go in here and update that and let it update, save it, and export that file, and I can get all the data at a glance to be able to know if my campaigns are profitable or not. So this is the way I recommend doing it, using Facebook ads reporting.
In summary, I just want to say that, obviously there's multiple ways to track your ads, but when I first got started, I literally didn't know that this option existed. And for so long, I was just going through the wrong way. I was checking the wrong stats. And so once I found this section, it really did make a huge difference in my business. So I hope that this has been a time-saving lesson for you. I hope that now you feel like you're a little bit, bypassed up the learning curve here, and you've got a head start on maybe a lot of other people that are figuring it out on their own. So I'll meet you in the next module, which is going to talk about conversion pixel tracking. I'll see you there.